Hey guys, welcome to the first Garden Diaries series for 2022. So, my idea is every Monday, well, I'm going to be filming this on Sunday, but you will see it on Monday, will be a Garden Diaries. Just what's been going on for the whole week, and hopefully a little tour of the garden. Not that there's much going on out there right now other than snow. So here we go. I'll show you what we have started. So we have some spinach that I've been growing for about a week and a half. These are going to go into a cold frame outside for early spring as soon as we get that cold frame built, which is hopefully getting built right now. I have these really cool micro tomatoes. I have a red variety and the orange hat variety. These are from Baker's Creek. They're micro tomatoes, so they only grow about 12 inches from what I've seen. For these guys, I'm hoping that I can grow them 100% indoors and get some really early spring cherry tomatoes, mattering on how strong this grow light is. Our onions are growing very good. Nice and strong, healthy. They've gotten their first trim. I just trimmed them all back to about 3 to 4 inches to get rid of all that seed topping that gets stuck on them. These guys were planted a little later. No, these guys were planted a little later. And they're about a week behind the other onions. They're a little behind, about a week behind the other onions. And then these back here, the Australian brown, from what I can remember, they are a longer season, so I think that's why they're growing slower than everybody else. I have Walla Walla, which is a sweet onion, not for storage, so these will all be for fresh eating. I have way more onions than I have space for, so some of these probably will be planted as scallions, green onions to harvest. So I have Walla Walla. I have a hybrid yellow onion. I believe those seeds were from Johnny's. Those are storage. Then I have a white Spanish, red Rosa de Milana. Probably not pronouncing it right, but so the red onions don't store very well. So I think I only planted one pot of the red because my family doesn't eat a ton of red onions, but they are nice to have for summer. Ooh, I just picked one. Oh well. I heavily seeded these, so I'm not worried if I lose a few here or there. My idea behind this was to heavily seed them and have like nice bunches of onions to then separate out into the garden, and then keep them trimmed down and thin them as I need to, and then plant them out. Onion plants do very well transplanted. They have strong roots, so I don't think they'll have any issue being pulled apart and put out into the garden. I have 3 pots of leeks. I love leeks. These are the American flag leek, so they're a long season. They're doing good. I didn't seed these as heavily though, because I don't have a lot of space for a ton of leeks, and those are kind of something that I like to use as fresh eating. I will chop them up and freeze them. The Parma onion, I don't think that's the full name. I tend to use abbreviations on my tags. That's from Baker's Creek. I think it's another storage onion. These are all either long day onion or intermediate day onions. Since we are in gardening zone 6 in Massachusetts, we are technically in long day, but kind of a little on the border. So I've always just grown long day, but I wanted to try some intermediate ones this year. This will be my 3rd year of trying to grow onions, and I've put a lot of extra work into my soil preparation because I haven't done very good the last few years, and I think it's mostly due to my soil, not really the onion plants. So that's that tray. This tray, we have a cosmic mix lettuce. The Old Tokyo, not even gonna try for that name. It's kind of like a Swiss chard, but it's supposed to taste more like spinach from Baker's Creek. A flowering kale, which I think will be really pretty. Looks like I had a little issue here with this guy not dropping. I don't know if you can see, but he didn't drop his seed and kind of just withered out. That's a humidity issue when they don't drop their seeds. But that's okay. Plenty of time. This is just a very early planting to see what will survive going out in the cold frame in early, well, probably mid-March. White dandelions, just because I love my bumblebees and I'm trying to plant more dandelions, and I thought the white ones were really cool. I don't have bees, just my wild ones. I think somebody around me has bees because I do see them in my garden, but I do eventually plan on getting honeybees. Not this year though. Then we have the pansies. Nothing coming up on those yet. I've heard that they take a long time. My beautiful sweet potato vine that I saved from my garden last year has put on a ton of new growth now that I gave him some fertilizer and put him under the big grow light. This one was in a tortoise tank, because my tortoise likes munching on sweet potato leaves. But it also had some weird little green aphid looking things. I don't know if they were aphids. So yesterday I gave it a nice shower down with some mild soapy water. Over there, I took my little Welch's grape container and I planted beets in it. I like to experiment, and this year I'm experimenting with just trying my hand at what I can grow indoors 100%. This right here needs a good watering, but it is cabbages. A purple savory cabbage and a green savory cabbage. That is a little sage plant somebody gifted me, a very sweet friend of mine who I help out with the Azor. We do the Azor drop for bulk food, and she gave me this wonderful sage plant, which is like doubled in size. She also gave me a Tamarillo plant. I'll show you that in a second. So we have down here, these guys I have to do some sorting or bring in different grow lights. This rack doesn't have any grow lights hanging yet, but I gotta get some down here, bring them in. I have mustard, Green Wave mustard, again for the cold frame, and a Butter Crunch lettuce. Look at all the little lettuce babies. And some collards. I did 2, 2, and 2. And then we have some Asian green mix. Those were old seeds. And it doesn't look like anything's coming up yet. I don't know about them. They may be duds. And another, I think those are both the same. So nothing on those. Not yet. We'll give them another week. And then I have some more lettuce. I think that's a red lettuce. Nothing on those yet. And a corn salad. That's supposed to be a really hardy green, so I'm hoping to get that established in the cold frame. Over here is the whole tray of pansies. Nothing up yet on them. I really hope these guys come up. And then we have my sticks. These are elderberry cuttings that I ordered from Riverdale Farm. Riverdale, yeah, I think that's it. They are a Adams 2 variety. I saved my little things here. Adams 2. I think that was the best variety for my 6A zone. So I'm really hoping to get a nice hedge of elderberries established. I just put them to get started early in these pots, and we'll transplant them up as they need. And down here, oh, we forgot this tray. Today is actually the day to take this off. This is a tray of microgreens because I'm dying for some fresh. Yeah, definitely time to take this off. And take that bad boy off and put it over there. That was just to black them out. This is all kale microgreens. Just trying to grow everything I can inside that I can. And down here is my little Tamarillo. This is another one that my friend gifted me. It smells really funny when you bother the leaves. I can't, it's like it has a pepper smell to it, but according to the printout she gave me, it grows like little cherry tomatoes that are very sweet, and it's native to North America, and they use the fruit for pies and jams. So that will be interesting. Never grown that before. Down here, I have my Christmas cactus. My overwintering rosemary. Rosemary is really hard for us to overwinter. It tends to like to get fungus and die. And then back here, I have my pepper plants I overwintered. These guys, I believe, are habaneros. They had a really late start last spring and never got a chance to really grow. So I brought them in as little babies. They were only probably about 6 inches tall. So these guys were only about 6 inches tall when I brought them in, and they've steadily put on new growth, even with no grow lights. Little head start on your pepper plants. Overwinter them. I may do even more next year. Oops. So that's it. That is what we have growing in the grow rack, under the lights. There's nothing outside yet, but pretty soon we will have that cold frame growing and hopefully transplanting out some of those greens. So this is the outdoor greenhouse. It's a pretty dilapidated, awful thing, but it works. We have storage, and then I am converting a rack into a mini greenhouse inside the greenhouse that I'm hoping to be able to transfer my cold weather crops out to much earlier than I would be without it. My problem with cold weather crops, starting them indoors, it's really warm, even with the house temperature turned down. Our house isn't that warm anyways, but it's warmer than the cold weather crops will be going into when it's time to transplant them. So my idea is to turn this into a mini greenhouse. I brought my spinach out to give it just a little time to harden off. I won't leave it out here. I may bring it in and out for the next week and then see if I can leave it out here. It's going to be like my test crop. And then if the spinach does well, I'll probably bring out the onions next to get them hardened off early. Well, this is a metal rack with just another metal rack, and I put over construction plastic. I'm probably going to put grow lights under it because this greenhouse doesn't get a ton of sun because it's shaded by the house. I have extra grow lights there. These are shop lights. So I'm going to put those under and see. I may need a heat mat or something. So that concludes the first garden diaries. Transplanted those little tomatoes. I decided to transplant them into 6-packs. That way they could grow up separately for a little while before they go into a bigger container. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to grow them 100% in, if it's going to be like 6-inch pots, 4-inch pots. I guess it matters exactly how big they get and if they start fruiting under the grow light that I have. I was also thinking about getting a green stalk planter and growing them outside on the patio, but not those. Those I'm thinking will be 100% indoors. But I did the greenhouse, I transplanted those. I actually planted 3 more because I like even numbers, and I had 6 of the orange ones and 3 of the other ones, so sorry. Trying to hold a baby and I'm out of breath from running up the stairs. So I hope you guys all enjoyed seeing the first gardening diaries, and you can follow along with me throughout this year. I'm planning on doing a gardening diaries through this entire growing season, so I look forward to this season. Have a good one.